Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecco. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms as well as to Facebook Live. So if you are joining us from Facebook or YouTube, please feel free to leave a comment down below or ask a question. I'll be happy to address anything as I go through the forecast here, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and catch any other questions that I may have missed. But let's get started here. Well, today we were tracking out several showers and downpours similar to what we saw yesterday, just maybe not as increased in coverage, but we actually still got a big enough downpour today on the east side of Evansville, whereas yesterday it was the west side. So we do have that flash flood warning in effect for portions of far eastern Vanderburgh County and far western Warwick County there. That includes the east side of Evansville and in the Newburgh area. I did see reports of especially the Green River Road in front of the mall had water rising on it, and that was about an hour ago. But since then, that shower has passed on to the south, and now it's dumping rain over Henderson, and it's kind of weakening a little bit, so that's good. So it doesn't look like that poses much of a flash flood threat for you folks down in Henderson as it did when it was up here. But we're still looking at potentially a few more downpours here in some isolated spots. So again, it's not like this was a widespread thing today. We only got that one flash flood warning, but this area of upper level low pressure is kind of sitting and spinning right over the Ohio River Valley right now, and that's what's kept us pretty unsettled throughout the day today. But that will gradually slip off to our east overnight tonight, and we'll still have that chance for maybe a few spotty showers tomorrow, but it definitely has trended a lot drier for Father's Day. So that is all good news here. But here's a look at our current radar. We've got some current showers and downpours off to our southwest, just over Crittenden and Hardin County. We've got another downpour, again, that moved out of Vanderburgh and Warwick County, is now swung through Henderson. And then we've got a few more lighter showers pushing into Ohio County with another big old downpour up in northern Perry County there in Branchville. Now, that one also looks like a pretty slow mover. So if we were to see another flash flood warning, I would assume it would be right there up in northern Perry County if that storm doesn't move out quick enough, because these things are dropping a good amount of water in a very short amount of time. I mean, just in, this is a 6-hour rainfall total, but a lot of these totals here that you see, that those 1 to almost 2-inch amounts fell in a matter of 45 minutes to an hour. So that is a lot of rainfall. That is why we got that flash flood warning in effect for Vanderburgh and Warwick County. And you can also see picking up a lot of rain there in northern Perry County there as well. So again, if we see another flash flood warning, would likely be up there where that storm is kind of just sitting. But looking at some of the reports, here is a report out of Vanderburgh County. Covert and I-69 intersection is flooded. This was at 7:51, so this was about an hour ago. And a lot of the yards were underwater along at Newburgh Road. So we saw a lot of reports of that coming in to the National Weather Service chat, which also helped prompt them to issue that warning. So here's a look at our flash flooding risk for the rest of tonight and over the next couple of days, and it's going to remain an isolated risk. So, it's not like this is widespread, but it depends on where it falls. Obviously, if it falls in a much more populated area, it causes a lot more problems. If it falls in mostly farmland, it doesn't cause too much of an issue for some people. But we do still have that isolated chance here for today, tomorrow, and even as we get into Monday, but that mostly is slid off to our southwest. So again, could see a couple more downpours there. Keep in mind, you never want to drive through any flooded roadways. If you see a flooded roadway, turn around and just find a different route. It's not worth risking any further injury to yourself or damage to your car or even your life. A lot of flooding deaths occur in people trying to drive through floodwaters. So just avoid that if you can. But right now, let's take a look at what our temperatures got up to earlier today. We topped out in the lower 80s, 83 degrees in Evansville, 84 down towards Bowling Green. There's a live look at the Deaconess Gateway. This was a very wet scene about an hour ago, and now it's started to break up a little bit. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw some rainbows. I'm sure there were a couple of rainbows out and about earlier today as that sun was setting. But here we're going to remain partly to mostly cloudy overnight. Some patchy fog will likely develop overnight as well, especially with areas that do still have some standing water from all the heavy rain. But 78 in Owensboro, 74 in Henderson and Madisonville. Henderson catching that brief downpour right now. One thing we're all suffering through for sure is that humidity. Dew points are in the lower 70s, that is in that stifling category, which also means we have a lot of water vapor in the atmosphere, which is why these storms are able to produce such heavy rainfall when we have such high dew points. But tonight, again, spotty showers will start to diminish, but temperatures will drop down into the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. And then tomorrow, again, I think Sunday has actually trended drier for most of us, but there is still that isolated chance for a shower. Temperatures climb back up into the lower 80s. But tracking out everything through the rest of our night tonight. So again, a few more of these downpours could swing through. And then, but mostly they're going to just continue to diminish. Partly cloudy with some fog overnight tonight, and then tomorrow we'll wake up, we'll see partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy skies, and then maybe seeing some breaks of sun later in the day. But you can see just that little flash of a few green blobs there through Sunday afternoon. That's our chance for a few isolated showers. So you can see a lot less in coverage compared to what we saw yesterday and even for today. And the good news is we're still just outlooked for ordinary showers and thunderstorms, so nothing majorly severe on the way for the next several days, but we are keeping an eye on the time frame of Wednesday through Thursday. I haven't quite pulled the trigger on an alert day just yet because the timing is a little bit iffy. Yesterday it was a little bit later and it moved in during the day on Thursday. Today it kind of moved up and moves in faster, and now it's moving in overnight Wednesday into Thursday. I'm talking about a cold front that is expected to move through. However, I do want to look at a couple more model runs just to see where we would potentially see that severe weather threat. Would it be on a Wednesday or a Thursday? So that's kind of what I'm looking at right there. But that is pretty much the next best chance for more widespread showers is going to be when that front moves in Wednesday night and into Thursday. And like I said before, there is at least some better setup for maybe more organized thunderstorms that could potentially be strong or severe. But let me show you what the European model looks like for that time frame. So here we are Monday. I'm going to take you through the entire week here. I just want to illustrate that that area of low pressure sitting overhead right now slides off to our east. However, with heat and humidity on the rise, heating of the day type thunderstorms are expected each afternoon here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Wednesday night. This is where we're keeping an eye on that frontal passage that could have maybe some stronger storms involved within it, and this has it moving in overnight. And then we'll have that front clear us by the time we get into Thursday evening, and then it looks like maybe some drier weather on the way for the end of next week. But again, it is about a week out, so I don't want to completely promise anything. But looking at the brand new, this is just recently updated Climate Prediction Center outlook through the 20th to the 24th. It looks like we may be having a more drier pattern taking shape here. So after we get through this week, hopefully next week we have better luck with more sunshine rather than showers and thunderstorms. But one thing for certain, it is going to start to get hot, guys. It is going to feel like summer shortly. So by the time we get into the middle of next week, our highs, they're going to be topping out in the upper 80s, possibly even into the lower 90s, and we're going to continue to have this stifling humidity involved. So we could be looking at potentially heat index values climbing up through the mid to upper 90s. Wouldn't even be surprised if we saw some feels like temperatures closer to 100 by the end of next week and into next weekend. So outside of the shower and thunderstorm chances, that is kind of our next big thing moving in. But you can see, looking at our dew point trend, muggy today, or muggy yesterday, it was muggy today. Tomorrow, or as we go through the rest of this week, we'll continue to climb the charts for this dew point trend, which is not really a friendly trend for most of us. Maybe some people enjoy the humidity. I don't mind it too much, but it can get a little bit crazy sometimes. So hopefully it won't get too soupy out there. But there's a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, daily chances for showers and storms through much of next week. You'll see those temperatures continue to climb up into the upper 80s, topping out at around 89 on Wednesday, and then possibly into the lower 90s by the time we get into next Saturday. Better chances for sunshine, but again, with this type of setup, hot, humid temperatures, you can't rule out that chance for an isolated afternoon shower. So we'll continue to keep tabs on that forecast for you, but that's all I've got here for the weather show at 9 p.m. I'm going to hop off of Facebook. I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody stay safe and have a great rest of your night. And remember, turn around and find a different route if you come across a flooded roadway.